Okay, everybody, welcome back. Thanks for coming back to another episode of the Bonus Point. Today, as usually do on a Thursday or on a Friday, whenever this one manages to go out, is we're going to be going through the game week 13 preview. And before we actually go straight into that, I want to mention a few things. The deadline is going to be on Saturday morning rather than on Friday. As sometimes it's on Friday, but this time it's going to be on Saturday morning. My recommendation, however, as usual, is to get your team in order before Saturday morning. So try by Friday night for the latest to have your side in order. Make that transfer, set your captain, set the formation that you're going to go with, make sure your bench is organized and everything. Just make sure you dot all the I's and cross all the T's is basically what I'm asking you all to do by Friday night. And if you manage to wake up on Saturday morning, because we know how early it is be, and we know most of us don't actually get up on time, then cool, you can maybe make some last minute transfers. But if not, at least you're good to go. Also, this is going to mark the official beginning of the start of that December period, that dreaded December period that we talk about so much, or maybe for us as fans, it's that December period that we love so much because we get to watch the Premier League week in, week out, and during the week as well. So it's a pretty exciting time, to be honest. But for FPL, it's a very tough time to manage. So that's actually going to be the first talking point I want to talk about. There's going to be significant adjustment with this December period. First of all, in terms of the episodes, we're going to reduce back a little bit. Instead of 2 episodes every week, or instead of 2 episodes between game weeks, we're dropping back to 1, because we're going to be having, games on the weekend, then another game week during the week, and next one on the weekend, and so it's going to be. So it's going to be a lot more, it's going to be a thicker schedule. So we're going to drop back to 1 episode every week. I'll try to have the schedule so that it comes out between game weeks. That may mean that we switch from Tuesdays and Thursdays to maybe Mondays and Fridays, just so that we're between game weeks. But also, the episode is going to be a little bit longer, but a little bit more condensed as well, because we're going to be merging 2 episodes into 1, basically. So I'll try to give you all a little recap about the football that went on over the previous game week. But most importantly, we'll talk about the captains and we'll talk about some transfers, as we usually do. Speaking about captains and transfers, that's exactly what we're going to do today. But before getting into that, I want to talk about how we're going to shift our FPL mentality with the start of this December period. So, I think that we need to switch the type of players that we're going to target. The good thing is that I've been setting up for this period previously. This is not the first time that I would have mentioned this. But this is how we're actually going to switch the players that we're going to try to target. And basically, we want to go for rotation-proof players, because there is going to be a lot of rotation that's happening over the December period, and a lot of injuries are happening as well. It mightn't be so easy to predict injuries, but it's a lot easier to predict rotation. We want to go for the players that are going to be playing week in, week out, and the way that I suggest that we go for that is to target players from smaller squads, first of all. Now, what do I mean by a smaller squad? I basically mean that there's a large drop-off in the quality from the starting 11 to the bench. So, for example, maybe a team like Liverpool right now, who are seeing a lot of injuries in their midfield, could be seen as a smaller squad. Now, they're not a small team by any means, but when you take their squad and compare it to something like Manchester City or Chelsea, they have a lot less quality on the bench than these other teams have, and that's why we see Salah playing week in, week out. We see Mane and Jota playing so much as well. Fabinho almost always has to play, and same goes for Van Dijk and Trent and whatnot. These players are in a small squad because their bench is not too good right now due to a lot of injuries, especially in the midfield. And these are the type of players that we can target, because we expect their big players to be playing week in, week out throughout this December period. And another type of players that we can target are players from small teams. In smaller teams, they also suffer from smaller squads. So, for example, a team like Norwich is going to play Pookie all the time. I'm not saying to go ahead and buy Pookie, but that's just the example that I'm giving. Another one that we could look at is historically fit players. So that takes me back to a guy like Mo Salah or Ronaldo, guys that seem to almost never get injured and are able to deal with that, to deal with the stress that comes on their body when being asked to play every weekend and during the week as well. Salah's body almost never breaks down. The same for Ronaldo. These guys take really good care of themselves, and I guess they're blessed with good genetics as well, that they're able to just be this fit. I think a good example of this is also going to be Bowen from West Ham. I expect him to play a lot of games during this period because he's pretty fit. The opposite of this is someone like Antonio, who we know has struggled with injuries in the past. Maybe Callum Wilson as well. And these guys tend to have their minutes managed a bit more so as to prevent injury. So they're not getting rotated because they are shit players, but simply because the team needs them and they need to manage their minutes to prevent injury. Another one we're going to go for is Talisman. Now that takes me back to someone like Wilfred Zaha, who I expect to play all the time for Crystal Palace because he is their main guy. Salah is also in that category. Ronaldo is also in that category. Maybe Bruno Fernandes as well. He also ticks the box of being a fit player. Son and Kane. Harry Kane, the talisman of that team. He's always going to start. He's the first name on the team sheet every single time. We expect him to play week in, week out. I don't think he'll be missing any games. So this is an example of the type of players that we should be targeting. And finally, I think we might want to look at players who are playing for teams that are in a sticky situation right now. Manchester United is my biggest example of that. So basically, Manchester United, in order to keep their hopes alive and playing Champions League next season, they need to start winning games immediately. And in trying to win games, you're going to want to play your best 11. Ronaldo is part of that best 11, in my opinion. I assume that he'll be the best 11 in the manager's opinion as well. So again, Ronaldo could be a good one to target due to that simple fact. And now, just to piggyback on that, I would like to talk about some possible transfers that we could be making this week. All these players are going to tick the box of players that are rotation proof. So that's just one filter that we went through. And another box that they're going to have to tick is that they have a decent game now and they look good in the long term as well. So some possible transfers that we could be looking at. Now, it starts off with Reece James and Marcus Alonso off the bat. And the reason I'm saying that is because of the news that Chilwell has suffered a knee injury. It's not confirmed that he's done his ACL, but that's what some of the leaks online are saying. He went in for a scan, and now he's going in for a second scan. So it's really not looking too good for Ben Chilwell. Whether he did his ACL or not, I really hope that he didn't, because I think he's been finding himself this season, and he's been playing some excellent football this season. I wouldn't like to see a player like that get hit with an ACL injury right now, but it looks like he's going to be out for the rest of the year at least. So with Ben Chilwell out of our teams until at least January, that brings Reece James into the picture. And the other guy that obviously brings into the picture is Marcus Alonso. The reason for that, which I think is obvious, is that he's now the only left back at the whole club. So they are going to have to use Marcus Alonso week in, week out, most likely because there's no other left back at the club. And Alonso himself started the season pretty well. And some people felt like it was a bit undeserved to replace him with Chilwell because he hadn't really messed up or anything. He was playing pretty well. So hopefully Marcus Alonso will be able to come back into the team and will be able to continue that form that he saw at the beginning of the season, where he scored goals. He had high XG numbers. We know that Marcus Alonso is a high XG type of player. He takes a lot of shots. He actually has a good shot on him. He takes free kicks as well. So Marcus Alonso could definitely be someone that we should target. He's also one of the cheaper options in that Chelsea defense right now. Maybe the cheapest out of everyone that starts. So yeah, Marcus Alonso should be good. And Reece James, not going to talk about him too much more. We already spoke about him in previous episodes. We understand his quality. We understand that his expected goal involvement at this point is 0.55, which is really, really high for anybody that understands those statistics. That is very high, especially for a fullback. So Reece James, I still think is the best option out there. But then when you start looking at price and I start looking at who's going to be nailed and whatnot, I think Marcus Alonso sticks his name in there as well. Diogo Jota is the other person that I want to talk about. Picked up an injury over the weekend, but then we saw him on the bench during the Champions League, and I think that means he's going to be playing this weekend again because they did not look all that good with Minamino in the front lineup. I think they're missing Jota, and Firmino is definitely out for the rest of the year at least. So Jota looks like he should be in the team for a long time, and we know usually when he starts he gets points. So Diogo Jota is definitely one to go ahead and look at a possible transfer for this week as well. One of the guys that I could bring Jota in for would be Phil Foden, because he seems to be injured right now. Conor Gallagher is my third option for bringing in this week. Nailed, enters the box a lot. He makes a lot of late runs into the box and gets a lot of shots off of simply just arriving in the box late, unmarked, and then the ball having fall to him. He is a decent enough finisher. He's already scored a lot of goals for the season already. He gets some assists or for some madness, to be honest, but he's assistant, so that's good. Most importantly, he's rotation proof, as I spoke about before, and he's also has a lot of good games coming up. So yeah, Conor Gallagher, I think it's a good one to go ahead and get. And the last one that I just want to barely mention, is Ronaldo. Now, Ronaldo might not have the greatest set of games right now, but in about 2 weeks, the fixtures get a lot better for Ronaldo. I think Ronaldo is just the main guy at Manchester United, so I don't expect him to be rotated too much. And the news that we got this morning is that Ralf Rangnick has signed for Manchester United. This guy is a fantastic manager, and I expect him to get United clicking again. As long as United are scoring goals, we expect Ronaldo to be getting the most goals in that team. So Cristiano Ronaldo is definitely someone to look out for as a possible transfer. And now finally, I would like to talk about some of the captains. We know that, as I always say, a good captain could turn decent game week into a fantastic game week. I could save a bad game week and turn it into a slightly okay one. So always want to get captains right, and off the bat, we're just going to get this one out of the way. Mo Salah. I think he's going to be most people's captains this weekend because he's just in red hot form, and we just can't afford to go without Salah as the captain right now. He's going to be playing against Southampton. And funny enough, playing against Southampton, someone that actually has a very good record against Southampton is Salah's partner, Sadio Mane. If by chance you have Mane, then I think I would captain him over Salah simply because of history. He usually scores against Southampton, and we expect him to continue that record this weekend. And then Trent Alexander-Arnold is someone that most of us have in our team, and this could be a decent captain as well. I expect Liverpool to go ahead and keep a clean sheet, and Trent, just like Salah, has been in red hot form. Already has a goal from a free kick this season and has so many assists this season already. So we expect Trent to do really well again this weekend, and I think he'll be a good captain option. Now, anything other than Salah is going to be against the grain. Let's get that out there in the clear. First option I'm going to talk about is Raul Jimenez. I think he's been in form. He's been looking really well every game week. It looks like he gets better and better and better, and he's slowly but surely finding himself to a point where I would comfortably say that Raul Jimenez is in form now. And what do we like to do with informed players? Well, we like to captain them, especially when they are going to play at Norwich. So Raul Jimenez versus Norwich, I think, is one of the obvious captains to go if you're not going for Salah. I think Hwang Hee-chan kind of has the possibility to outscore Jimenez in this game simply because of how electric he plays and his dribbling ability. So Jimenez is known for getting on the end of chances, whereas Hwang kind of creates these chances for themselves, and the Norwich defense is not that good. I understand that they've been looking better in recent times, but I don't think that is good enough to stand up against Jimenez and Hwang. I think for Hwang's style of play, he could possibly get more returns than Jimenez in this game, but I won't count out Jimenez as well. Now I want to talk about another guy that's in red hot form. It's João Cancelo. I think Cancelo should be a good captain option, even though it's against West Ham, which is harder opposition. We know that City is just the unstoppable force right now when it comes to attacking. We saw what they did against PSG during the week. They are simply relentless when it comes to chance creation, and Cancelo created a lot of decent chances on the day as well. One particular chance with the outside of his boot that he played for Gabriel Jesus, and I was just hoping Jesus scored to give Cancelo that assist. In terms of this West Ham game, yes, West Ham could defend pretty well, but guess what? PSG has fantastic defenders as well, and City was still able to break them down and make it look easy in the box. So I think Cancelo could be a good option to captain this weekend against West Ham. I understand that West Ham scores a lot of goals in the league as well, but City is one of the best defenses, so I expect them to keep a clean sheet at least. And then finally, I guess I have to mention Heung-min Son and Harry Kane, simply because they're going to be playing against Burnley, and the fact is that most of us have at least one of these players in our teams. So whereas I personally won't be looking to captain them against Burnley, even though Burnley have not been that good this season, Spurs just have not looked too good in the attack. I would like to stay far away from captaining Son and Kane this weekend, but I guess I'd understand why if you went ahead and captain them, because it's like, okay, we just brought them in, and there has to be a reason why we brought them in. It's obviously because we think they are good assets. So if you wanted to go ahead and captain Son and Kane, hoping that this is the moment that they finally understand the system and they finally string some goals together, then I understand. But I really think that they'll be a little bit lucky if they were to return this weekend. That actually wraps up the video, guys. Thanks a lot for coming out. I hope you all understood everything that I talked about, and I really hope that I didn't rush it through. It's a little late at night where I am right now, so yeah, I've just been trying to get this one done and then going to bed. But yeah, I hope you all understood everything that I spoke about, and yes, I hope that I didn't rush it too much for you all. Until next time, I'll see you all again, maybe on Monday or Tuesday. Good luck this weekend. I really hope that your captain scores a hat-trick, and please like and share and subscribe to the channel. Goodbye.